Do you feel like toxic people keep finding you? Welcome to time-tested advice, where ancient philosophy meets the modern world. I'm your host, Alfred. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how kind you are or how much effort you put in, negative and toxic people still keep entering your life? It can feel like something invisible keeps pulling them in, even when you're doing everything right. But what if I told you that the real answer isn't in what they're doing, but in how you're showing up in the world? Let's think about something. Why do some people seem to constantly deal with drama while others rarely do? Is it luck, personality, or is there something deeper going on, something tied to how our minds and bodies work? Today, we're going to explore one of the most important but often misunderstood truths about relationships. It's not just about psychology, it's about how your brain and nervous system respond to the world. And once you understand this, you'll start to see yourself and your relationships much more clearly. This isn't your typical self-help talk. We're not just talking about what to say or do. We're going into the science of why certain patterns keep repeating and how to finally break them. Not by fighting back, not by shutting people out, but by becoming more connected to your true self. So get ready, because we're about to uncover powerful lessons inspired by Shihangi, someone who deeply understands energy, clarity, and personal transformation. If you've ever felt like peace is out of reach or like chaos keeps following you, this is the insight you've been waiting for. The real beginning of change. Inside your nervous system. When people think about protecting themselves from toxic relationships, they often think about what to say, when to walk away, or how to set boundaries. But lasting change doesn't start with actions. It starts inside, with your own body, with your own nervous system, and with how you manage your focus and emotions. In psychology, there's a powerful idea called an internal locus of control. It means believing that your peace doesn't depend on the outside world, but on your inner strength. Toxic people aren't just showing up out of nowhere. They're pulled in by how open or reactive we are. They sense when someone is easily drawn into emotional drama. If you're always reacting, getting upset quickly, or feeling emotionally drained, it's like you're sending out a signal, and people who thrive on chaos pick up on it. But here's the good news. You don't have to argue with anyone or demand their respect. The moment you stop needing their approval, you begin taking back your power. This isn't just an idea. It's backed by biology. When you practice calming routines like deep breathing, journaling, taking cold showers, or simply staying consistent with healthy habits, you're telling your body to relax. You're teaching your nervous system to shift from stress to balance. And when you're calm and balanced, something powerful happens. Toxic people lose interest. They can't find a way into your life because you're no longer giving off the kind of energy they feed on. You stop reacting. You stop explaining yourself. You stop being emotionally available to their chaos. So instead of asking, why do toxic people keep finding me? You begin asking, what part of me is still open to this energy? And that question leads you to take full responsibility for how you feel and who you attract. The moment you make that shift on the inside, everything around you starts to change too. If you are enjoying the video so far, hit that thumbs up and leave a comment if you have anything to add. If you don't have anything to say, come say hello to me. I appreciate everyone's input on this channel. Let's get back into the video. Focus and the brain. Training yourself for peace. One of the most important discoveries in brain science is this: Your brain grows around what you focus on. If you constantly think about the people who hurt you, if you replay their words or worry about what they'll do next, your brain builds more of those thought pathways. Over time, it becomes easier to feel anxious, on edge, or emotionally worn down. But this doesn't mean it's your fault. Your brain is just doing what it knows, responding to repeated stress. The amazing part, you can change it. Your mind can learn to seek peace instead of stress. Think of your attention as your most powerful tool. Where you place it shapes how you feel, how you act, and who you become. When you start focusing on your breath, your sleep, your daily movement, your healthy habits, and your own growth, you begin building a peaceful inner world. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about becoming self-regulating. That means you don't get pulled into other people's emotional storms. You stay centered. And when that happens, the people who once drained your energy can't affect you the same way. Not because they've changed, but because you've changed the energy you give them. In psychology, we know that when a behavior stops getting a reaction, it eventually fades away. Manipulation, guilt, or emotional games, they all lose power when you stop playing along. You don't need to cut people off harshly, you just stop feeding the connection with your attention. Before long, you're reacting less and choosing more. The drama fades, not because you fought it, but because it no longer has a place in your calm, clear mind. The quiet strength of silence. When someone tries to upset you or pull you into a fight, silence might seem like doing nothing. But in truth, silence can be one of the strongest, smartest things you can do. Here's what happens in your body. When someone triggers you, your stress response kicks in. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, and your brain stops thinking clearly. That's when arguments explode and hurtful things get said. You're not thinking, you're just reacting. But when you stay quiet, just for a moment, you give your brain a chance to reset. You calm your heart. You start thinking clearly again. You choose your words, your energy, and your next step with intention. Silence isn't weakness, it's awareness. It says, I know what's going on, but I'm not giving you access to my peace. Sometimes the strongest boundary isn't something you say, it's what you don't say. When you don't show up to the emotional drama, it loses its power. People who are confident in themselves don't need to explain everything. They don't need to win arguments. Their silence speaks louder than words. And for toxic people, silence makes them uncomfortable. They don't know how to control someone who doesn't react. When you stay calm and quiet, they slowly realize that they no longer have access to your emotions. And that changes everything. Your energy tells the story. Even when you say nothing, your energy speaks for you. How you breathe, move, carry yourself, and respond to situations sends out signals. These signals tell people if you're calm or tense, confident or unsure. And the people around you respond to those signals, even if they don't realize it. If your energy is stressed or scattered, you'll often attract people and situations that match that feeling. That's why some people keep dealing with toxic relationships. It's not because they want to, but because part of them is still aligned with that energy. But once you begin to shift into a state of peace, once you start building routines that help you feel grounded and strong, your entire energy changes. Your body becomes calmer. Your reactions slow down. You stop being so easy to shake. And when your energy becomes steady and clear, people who thrive on chaos start feeling out of place. They can't find anything to grab onto. At the same time, people who bring calm, kindness, and respect start showing up more. Boundaries aren't just about saying no. Your most powerful boundary is the energy you carry. When you stop allowing chaos into your space, it naturally fades away. If you want better relationships, a better work life, or more purpose, don't start by changing your surroundings. Start by becoming steady on the inside. Because your mind and body are always asking, is this a match for me? And when you raise your energy, only the right matches will stay. Why mind your own energy? Because it changes everything. There's something incredibly freeing about staying in your own lane. Your brain can only handle so much focus in a day. If you waste that energy worrying about what other people are doing, how they feel about you, or why they're acting a certain way, you lose power. You stop growing. You stay stuck. Science tells us that when you focus on your own goals, your brain rewards you with motivation and energy. You feel more alive when you're making progress in your own life. So when your attention shifts from "why are they like that" to "how can I grow today?", you start building real momentum. Drama loses its grip. Stress becomes easier to manage. You don't even notice the negativity around you because your mind is too focused on what really matters. There's also something called selective attention. It means your brain filters what you notice based on what you care about. So when you focus on your peace, your purpose, and your path, your brain stops noticing the emotional bait toxic people throw at you. You become boring to them, unavailable. And that's a good thing. Minding your business doesn't mean you're ignoring life. It means you're creating a better one. It gives you more energy, more focus, and more peace. You stop having to fight toxicity because you're not feeding it. You're simply too busy growing into who you were always meant to be. Because the truth is, peace isn't something that just happens. It's something you build, day by day, thought by thought, habit by habit. And once you make it your priority, nothing toxic can stand in your way. Protecting your peace. Why it truly matters. Science has shown us something important. Long-term stress is really bad for your body and brain. It messes with your memory, your mood, your immune system, how well you sleep, and even how fast you age. And what often causes this stress? Toxic relationships. So when people say, protect your peace, it's not just a feel-good phrase, it's something your body needs. If you're always on edge, waiting for the next argument, insult, or guilt trip, your brain gets stuck in survival mode. You're teaching yourself to react all the time instead of staying strong and calm. Real peace doesn't just show up on its own. You have to guard it. That can mean not replying to certain messages, not getting dragged into arguments, and choosing places and people that make you feel safe and valued. It can even mean leaving situations that make your body tense and your heart race. Here's the shift. Once you make peace your priority, you stop trying to fix broken people or keep everyone happy. You stop shrinking yourself to avoid upsetting others, and your brain stops looking for approval outside. You start feeling safe inside. That changes everything. You don't owe anyone access to your emotions or your energy. Once you truly understand that, your choices change. You start being more careful about who you allow into your space. Peace becomes your guide. If something messes with your clarity, your health, or your heart, it's too much to pay. And over time, protecting your peace becomes your new habit. Things that used to upset you stop bothering you. People who used to drain you start to feel distant. Not because you made a big announcement, but because you quietly decided to take your power back. That quiet strength, that's real power. The magic of growing in silence. A lot of people think change has to be loud and public, but the truth is, the biggest changes often happen when no one is watching. And science supports this too. When you're going through deep inner growth, your brain is busy rewiring itself. This process needs your focus. It needs you to slow down. That means making space, mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even socially. When you take a break from loud, messy relationships, your mind gets a chance to heal and reset. Silence isn't empty. It's where you start to understand yourself better. Think of it like working out. You don't grow stronger during the workout, but during the rest. The same is true for your mind. The stillness is where real growth happens. But here's the hard part. Many of us are used to needing validation. We want others to see our progress and cheer us on. But real change isn't about being noticed. It's about noticing yourself. That realization only comes when you're alone with your thoughts, your habits, and your healing. Silence also keeps your progress safe. In the early stages of growth, showing your changes too soon to the wrong people can actually pull you back. Not because they're always bad, but because your transformation makes them feel unsure or afraid. They might try to bring you back into the old dynamic. So let the silence protect you. You're not hiding, you're building, you're creating a stronger, calmer version of yourself. And when the change is ready, it will show. You'll carry a new energy. You'll show up differently. And those who knew the old, you won't recognize this new version, because it was shaped in silence and it no longer speaks the language of pain. Let your life be the proof. There's a part of the brain called the salience network. It helps us notice what truly matters and ignore what doesn't. Life works the same way. Over time, people stop listening to what you say and start watching what you do. So, as you grow, especially if you're leaving behind harmful people or places, you don't have to explain or prove anything. Just live it. When your behavior matches your values and your actions reflect your inner peace, people feel it, even if you never speak a word. Here's the science. When you make choices that honor your peace and values, your brain rewards you. It starts forming new habits, boosting your mood, and building confidence. Over time, this changes how you see yourself, not because of what you said, but because of what you kept doing. This is how you gain strength, and strength gives you credibility, not to others first, but to yourself. Toxic people feed off the gap between what you say and what you do. If you say you're done, but still answer their calls, they'll use that. But when your actions become consistent and firm, you take that power away. They'll be left watching from a distance, confused by your calm and blocked by your discipline. Let your life speak for you. You don't have to post quotes or defend your decisions. The right people will understand. The wrong ones will fade out, not because you forced them to, but because your new energy won't connect with them anymore. So don't talk about your peace. Be peaceful. Don't warn people you're growing. Just grow. Instead of feeding old patterns, use that energy to build your future. In the end, the most powerful message you can send is through your silence. Let your calm be louder than any words. When you align, everything aligns. In both science and life, there's a powerful idea called coherence. It means your thoughts, feelings, and actions all work together. When that happens, your brain works better, your stress levels drop, and your decisions become clear and confident. But it's not just about your brain, it's about your life. When you live in a way that matches your truth, everything starts to shift. You stop attracting drama, you stop explaining yourself, The energy you used to spend fixing broken things now goes into building a better life. But here's the key. Alignment isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily choice. Choosing peace over drama. Choosing your values over pressure. Choosing yourself over pleasing others. Every time you make that choice, your brain feels safer. You feel stronger. You stop reacting. You start responding with purpose. And the most amazing part? Life starts matching that energy. New people show up. New chances appear. Not because of luck, but because you cleared space for what truly matters. So remember this. You don't need to fight for peace. You don't need to beg anyone to treat you right. All you have to do is become someone who no longer allows what drains you. Everything else will take care of itself. When you live in alignment, toxic people can't touch you, not because you pushed them away, but because you simply grew beyond them. And in that quiet strength, you find exactly what you've always been searching for: clarity, confidence, and a peace no one can take from you. The power of rest. Healing isn't lazy, it's necessary. We live in a world that celebrates hustle, constant doing, constant moving, constant proving. But your brain and body weren't designed to be in survival mode all the time. Real growth doesn't happen in non-stop action. It happens in recovery. And science backs this up. In neuroscience, there's something called the default mode network, a part of your brain that becomes active when you're resting, daydreaming, or simply doing nothing. This is when your brain processes emotions, connects ideas, and repairs mental and emotional wounds. In other words, healing doesn't just need silence, it needs stillness. If your life feels chaotic, if you're exhausted but can't explain why, maybe you don't need to try harder. Maybe you need to rest better. Rest isn't laziness, it's a biological reset button. It tells your nervous system you're safe, you're allowed to pause. And when your body believes that, everything shifts. Your sleep improves. Your decision-making becomes clearer. Your relationships become less reactive. Toxic people lose their grip because you're no longer running on fumes. You're no longer surviving, you're starting to thrive. So give yourself permission to slow down. Take that nap. Turn off your phone. Let your nervous system breathe. Because sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest.